This episode is brought to you by Skylight Frame. It can be tough being so far away from loved ones, but here's a gift idea that can help you stay connected. Give them a Skylight digital picture frame. It's a touchscreen photo frame you could send pictures to anytime, anywhere, right from your phone. And the easy setup makes it the perfect gift for everyone. For a limited time, get $15 off your purchase at skylightframe.com/laugh. That's skylightframe.com/laugh.
Ladies and gentlemen, real quick before we hop into this week's episode, I just want to let you know that unfortunately with recording this week's guest, we did have a magnitude of technical difficulties. You would think by now I would have this shit together, but unfortunately I don't, because all of our online tools and resources weren't working, and Discord was being super laggy. So unfortunately, my guest this week, his video is not that great of quality. Neither is mine, but we do have a great high quality audio episode for you guys. There is still some video for those of you who like to watch, but nonetheless, my guest, A2C Killa, and my audio came in crystal clear. So no worries there. But just a heads up, I appreciate it, guys, and give a round of applause and a big warm welcome in the comments, likes, thumbs up, hit subscribe for our guest this week, A2C, my friend, Twitch streamer. Check it out. Enjoy, guys. This is the What Are We Doing podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the What Are We Doing podcast. My name's Levi McCurdy, and this is episode 119, I think. I think that's right. 119 weeks in. And as I'm sure all 16 of our listeners know, we just kicked off Clipmas, okay? We're uploading a clip every day between now and the rest of the year. We've already got like 5 or 6 out. We're already way ahead of schedule. And so to better boost those numbers, to better help us through this holiday season, I have, upon asked help from some of my friends and professionals in the industry and people who I like to talk to help me with some episodes this month. And so our first guest of the month, I know it's been a year now. I think it's been a year of me saying we were going to have another guest on this podcast. I'm pretty sure our last guest was like Ken Cage back in like February. I don't really count Paul and Carlos because they're just defaults, because I theoretically don't count today's guest either, because now I feel like I can just call him at any time and I'll just have him on. So it's fine. But we've got a guest today, guys. Listen, I'm just joking. You're a very important guest. Today's guest, man, we go back, I think 10 plus years now. And I can't wait to get into it with this man. He's a Twitch streamer. He's a dad. He's an IT guy. He's a tech nerd. We're going to get into it all. His name is A2C Killa on Twitch. Check him out there. A2C, James, how are you, my friend? How are you doing today?
We're doing good, man. We're doing good. It's a pleasure to be on the podcast. I mean, I've seen your videos. I've seen your stuff, and I'm just like, oh man, wonder if I'm gonna get the call to action one day.
Listen, here's the issue. I think the problem is I'm waiting for all of my friends to ask me to be on the pod. Like I'm sitting here on my phone like, James has got a Twitch career that's popping, and I'm just wondering when he wants to promote it on the pod. He hasn't asked me to come on the pod yet, so I guess he doesn't want to be on it. You know what I mean? So it's the vice versa. You know what I mean?
It's not even that, man. It's just Twitch streaming's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, a lot of just right time, right moments. Like you're just constantly doing stuff. It's it's tough to just say, oh yeah, I'm gonna just stop doing this for a second.
Right.
Hey, but what about this? It's you just keep going, man.
Keep going. Well, and listen, dude, we're gonna certainly get into the Twitch stuff here in a minute, but I want to take a step back. I want to go back, and I want to kind of, because I feel like, you know, it's one of those situations where it's like, you know, you or Carlos or Justin or whoever whoever I'm talking to, it's the people in my circle now are the people who have been there for 10 plus years. And I'm sure, you know, a lot of us can relate to that. And I guess my thought process between all of it is I only know, for the most part, at least in the case of you, I only know of you and kind of your life and where you came from and where you started from that instance, right? Because since then, obviously, drugs and alcohol have set in, and memory and recollection and everything else. So take me back, man. How did we get to, because I want to start at RadioShack. I want to start there. So give me, we don't have to go through birth, obviously, but maybe just a little childhood backstory. What led you to that point in time of us meeting?
Well, you know, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland to begin with. So wasn't always, you know, PA native, but you know, parents wanted to move, things happen. They're just like, hey, we're moving. I'm like, all right. I have nothing to say. Now, obviously, that wasn't the case back then because it's just like, we're moving. What? But, you know, you just kind of roll with it. Yeah. Things go the way they go. So move, get here, get acclimated. Things are going. We grow up, things of that nature. So you get to the point where it's like, oh, yeah, I got to get a job. I gotta do things. I got to be a teenage adult. You know, I gotta get money. I gotta buy things.
Right.
So, you know, we're all of our usual typical, you know, retail jobs. You know, you start somewhere, you do one thing, you sell this, you sell that, you know, you make this food, you make that. All that was going, you know, hitting all these different things. And I think I'm really trying to remember at which point in all that happened. Was it after I worked at Sprint?
Yeah,
I think it was after.
Yeah, no, if my memory serves me correctly, you came to the Shack after Sprint because you came in as the Sprint guy. You were trying to get us all to switch to Sprint because you believed in that network, dude.
Whoa.
You believed
now look here.
You were. Here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. We'll get back to RadioShack in a second. The thing with Sprint, I'll give them that. Sprint was the original OG masters of that unlimited, but not only unlimited data, abusable unlimited data. Okay, yes. Because we all remember. Listen, we all remember the routing of the old Android phones to get the hotspot because that wasn't a thing on the plans. It's so funny now. It's so funny, like, to think back, right? Because you remember, of course, like, we paid, like, our parents had to pay, like, $60 a month for, like, 400 text messages at, like, one point. Insane. You know what I mean? Like, insane. That was, so at one point, the text messages were the nickel and diming. Then that became unlimited. Then it was the data packages that were nickel and diming. And through that whole, you know, 1 gig, 2 gig, 5 gig, 10 gig package era of the cell phone networks, it was Sprint who was like, hey, we've only got like what is it today? We've got like 1,400 customers. You guys could come over here and we could give you unlimited because the bandwidth, we've got a lot of it. And so I was on, I think you might have convinced me. I think it might have been you who convinced me because I was on Sprint for a while. In that RadioShack era, back to it, I think I was on Sprint because they were just slinging employee deals.
That was the thing, man. It was all about the data. Yeah. It wasn't I'm sure you remember hey, don't call me until after 7:00. It wasn't about the minutes. It wasn't about the texting. It was all about the data.
Oh yeah. No, that was like the epicenter of my whole middle school into high school. Was it middle school? No, I wasn't dating in middle school. No, I'm sorry. That was my entire middle school or high school career. I'm sorry. That was my entire high school career. I would be I would get home from school, 3, 4, maybe whatever, 5 o'clock. I don't remember what time it was. And then you just had to wait. You just had to wait. And you had to pray. You had to wait and pray. Because during that waiting period, you had to wait till 7 p.m. Because if your stepmom Alicia found out that you spent 45 minutes of the family's 90 minutes a month talking to your girlfriend on a single Tuesday, that was an issue.
It was over.
It was an issue in our house, right? Because that means now Alicia has to get on the phone with customer service, be like, it wasn't me, it was my kid, I can't control this, remove the charges, right? We know the drill. And so I would sit and I would wait till 7 o'clock, and I would pray for the fact that my girlfriend's parents and family or whatever didn't interject with the plans that we had created. Because when you're that young, the plans you create to be like, hey, babe, I'm going to call you at 7, like 7:01, I'm calling you, right? And so, but like those plans don't mean shit when it comes to our parents, because we're the teenagers, and if they say we're going to do something or we have practice or we got to go somewhere or do this or whatever, and we're back at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, well, then we're usually tired and then we want to go to bed because we got school the next day, right? So it was a waiting game and a praying game, because if you called at 7:01 and dad decided to take him out for ice cream, now we've got a whole nother mentality. Now we've got a whole nother mentality, and that's, well, who's she talking to? Who's she on the other line with? She's talking to Carlos. I know for a fact she's on the phone with Carlos right now, and that's why she didn't pick up. And so now I'm writing a letter, because we still don't have unlimited texting. So I got to write a note, and I got to fold it up. I got to decide if I want to do a regular rectangle. I got to decide if I want to do a fancy, paper football triangle. Yup. And then, hey, what name do I put on it? Do I put her full first name? Do I put like Babe? Or do I put like the cute name we came up with together? Like, what kind of tone do I want to set before she opens the note?
We need to talk.
Right. Right. Hey, bitch. Who were you on the phone with at 7:03? Because I called and I continued to. Okay. And dude, so when we got unlimited minutes, game over. Game over for everybody.
It was beautiful, beautiful time. It's just crazy in retrospect when you think about it. Like, we just take it for granted now. We just pick up the phone and do whatever now. Yeah. But just that small error where every little thing was meticulously done.
Yep.
I don't know if I could do it again.
Oh, I think I just saw my time hop the other day, and I think you might have been the reason for this. It's all coming back to me now. Yes, I think you were. I was unboxing my Samsung Galaxy Note 2 at RadioShack on the Sprint network, and that was my step into it, because the reps just came in. Who was it? Tom. I think like Tom.
Oh yeah,
Tom from Sprint, right? He would just come in and he'd be like, "Hey guys, do you need any like employee plans? I can get you like whatever you want for like $20 a month." And we were all like, "No, we don't want your bullshit ass network." But then James, you came in, and then you were like, "Yo, bro, like Sprint's where it's at," and you're like, also, "Hey guys, hey, it's only $20 a month." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, you're right. Why not have a Verizon plan and a Sprint plan?" You know what I mean? And I did for a while, right? We did, because we could.
Yeah,
why
you're
not?
rocking both, man.
Why not? Listen, so
it's
then,
like, look, I'll appease your Sprint, but my Verizon, you're not gonna.
Listen, no, because I did exactly what you told me to. I used that Sprint plan as a hotspot as much as I could, and it was great. I tethered that bad boy, and I had it hooked up to the whole damn house at one point. I went around the entire house and hooked up. Now, back then, we didn't have everyone didn't have a phone, tablet, watch, laptop, computer, and TV in the room that they needed to have on Wi-Fi. So it was easy. But like, oh yeah, I love that shit. That was great. I love
feel
it.
like I was Sprint's number one enemy in some places.
So were you, what was your number one memory, number one story from Radio Shack working there back in the day? Do you have anything
number one story?
Yeah.
I can tell you now, it still sticks out in my head.
Love
it
it.
will never leave because it's just was so stupid. So remember the contest? Remember sell so many phones, sell this, sell that. Oh yeah, we're gonna give you these special rewards.
Was that John's doing? I think.
No. Who?
Marlene?
George?
George. Oh, George.
Like
George was like the GM.
Guy.
He was like he was
guy.
over in like Red
Super
Lion.
Yeah.
Joe. Yeah.
So yeah. Go ahead. We're gonna do these content. Oh yeah, you guys are gonna love this. Go ahead and sell all this stuff. We're selling, doing all these things. We're doing. We're being the top model employees.
Yeah.
Remember that $5 Sheets gift card? Remember that? Oh yeah, that'll get you X amount of hot dogs gift card. Yeah, remember that? That will never leave my mind because the equivalent of, hey, you can get this many hot dogs with this gift card. I'm like,
okay,
just
but
keep your gift card.
Okay, but wait. Okay, but no. See, but that's where you got to have a little bit of a not sick and twisted, a little bit of sick and twisted. It's like how they made the Powerpuff Girls: sugar, spice, everything nice, whatever you need, whatever the ingredients are for the Powerpuff Girls is what you need for that $5 gift card, James. Because what you do is you take that $5 gift card and you go to Sheets and you make sure you get all the hot dogs with it. Because guess what? They're 2 for $1, fam. So that equates, by my math, you might have to spend $1 for tax. Fine. Get the 10 hot dogs. And then I literally would have done that and then put them all on the counter. I would have taken them back to Radio Shack, lay them all out on the counter, and start eating them. And then when I get full, start offering them to the customers. Hey, what's up?
Man.
Yo, what's up? What you guys need? That $50 Boost mobile card? Got you. Guess what? You get a $50 Boost card today, you get a hot dog. You want a hot dog? Have a hot dog. It's fresh. It's kind of open. No, fuck yeah. Just take it. Whatever. Go. Hot dog. You want 2? Take 2. Take 2. Go ahead. Like, oh yeah. You gotta, when life hands you lemons, you gotta make lemonade. You gotta turn those types of things into like the best bits of your life. Because that's why... Right, because it's a scam, it's a bit, it was never anything to begin with that, what was his name? Was it Rich? Was that his name? I thought maybe it was.
I remember Rich, yeah.
Rich, maybe it was.
He was one of the other managers, I think.
Yeah.
In one of the other stores, I believe.
Yeah. And so I guess man, that's crazy. Did you ever, all my stories are just, I'm pretty sure we've reached the statute of limitations, but all my stories are illegal. Did you ever steal shit from that store?
I didn't.
No.
I mean, there was plenty of things that I've seen, but I didn't. I just usually like
plenty of things you've seen by who?
If I need to use a battery for like 10 minutes, I'd use a battery, but then that's about it.
Gotcha. No, we bro. Okay, well. You might have been
moving on.
You might have been the only one who wasn't, because I'm pretty sure we all were. I would let my friends come in. I
was the good kid, man.
Yeah, but hey, so
behind the register, like, hey guys.
Listen. Here's the issue. I'm the good kid too. I always was and always have been. But when you have people in charge who were in charge, it doesn't, you can't, like, if I can't take you seriously, and if you tell me, hey, like, bro, okay, here's when I knew, I'll tell you when it started for me. This is when I started taking shit from them, is when, I forget who was the manager at the time, but the whole time I worked there, maybe you were there, maybe you weren't for this, the whole time I worked there was a pair of 50 Cent, not money, the rapper, 50 Cent, SMS by 50 headphones. He came out with his, they were Beats by Dre, but by 50 Cent. He came out with his own headphones. We had one pair. They sat on the shelf for, I'm sure, years. Years they sat on the shelf because they were priced at like $299. They were like $300 headphones, like big, poofy studio headphones. No one was going to buy them. In the middle of York City, not in the middle of where we were. No one was buying those.
If it wasn't Dre,
no,
what's that?
No. And so I forget which manager told me to do it, but they said, hey, we got to like clear inventory. Corporate wants all this stuff gone. It's been here for too long. She took these headphones to the back. She bent them like on purpose, put them in a trash bag full of other stuff she took off the shelf and like on purpose broke so that we could then write it off, say it was damaged so that they could just write it off. You know what I mean? And she left and said me, hey, take all this trash out before you leave because she was too good to take the trash out on her own. And I'm like, okay, cool. Open the bag back up, bend the headphones back. Bro, I used those headphones to DJ the first 5 years of Sparks Entertainment.
Hey,
they
were going to get thrown out anyway.
They were going to get, she was throwing them away. I bent them back. Thank God they didn't break. Like, and I was like, okay, I get it now. These are the games we're going to play. And if these are the games we're going to play, that means there's no consequences. So when I find out that those are the games we're going to play, I take it to the next level. Because if we're already on level 1, level 2 is not going to be any different. So this is where my next, James, listen, there's a level A2C. I'm sorry, I keep calling you. I'll bleep it all out. I'll put a little ducks on it.
It's all good.
Listen,
it's all good.
If there's a level 3. Level 2, okay, is, and this takes a little bit of skill. Do you remember the quarterly inventory nights where we had to stay after closing?
You mean the hated inventory nights?
We had to stay after closing. God. We have to scan every product. The sheet says we have 5. Go scan 5.
Oh my!
The sheet says
that was back when we had to do that at the parts store too. That was back when they had the parts store.
Parts store. Everyone hated the parts store, and we always bullshitted the parts store. Whatever the sheet said is what was in the parts store that night. And we fudged it. We did 1 or 2 that were off, so it looked okay for corporate, but we didn't count that. No one ever counted that parts store. Not a single person. Not a single person. And if you did, I'm sorry. Maybe you deserved it. But so phase 2 of stealing from the company was keeping either a physical. Now, if you keep a physical list, that's evidence, and they could have popped you for that. I was a little smarter. I went 2.5 with it. I kept a mental list. You keep a mental list of what you take, and then next time you do inventory night, you make sure you're in charge of scanning those sections. So if I took a phone case, a few blank CD packs, and a radio player or whatever, I went directly to those spots. I looked at what the sheet told me. I knew there would be 1 missing, and so I just scanned an extra. Yep, we got 5 over here, and now I'm scot-free. And so
that's taken into that's a whole new level right there.
Smart though. Let's not. Well, listen. I can go into level 3 and 4. There's a level 3 and 4 of taking from that company. I'm probably part of the reason why they went bankrupt. I don't think I'm incriminating myself, maybe just my character. But listen, it's a satirical comedy podcast, so you can't really take anything I say anyways. Last week I said it'd be beneficial if Will Smith did come out as gay. He should go on every Kelly Clarkson, Oprah Winfrey interview talk show and just go on there with his gay partner and be like, yeah, I've been gay my whole life, fuck Jada, and just have his gay partner on there like, I love Will. He's doing so great. We've got movies lined up. We love each other. You know what I mean? So it's...
Hey, 2023, 2024.
That's right.
You never know. So send them off to the sky right there.
Phase 3, so level 3 of demising the company is... I don't know if you remember this.
This is why RadioShack went bankrupt, folks.
I don't know if you remember this, but we ran promotions. we ran these special, super awesome Radio Shack promotions to get as many people through the doors as we could in the late days of the company. And so what Radio Shack did was, for every $50 you spent, the receipt machine would print out a $5 Radio Shack gift card that you could then spend on your next purchase in store, whatever. The problem with that was two things. One, it was treated in the POS system as a gift card, which means there was no limit. There was no limit of number of how many times, how many of them you could use. You could obviously had $5, you used $5. That was it, $5 spent. And it didn't matter how that $50 was spent. And so 9 times out of 10, the people coming into our Radio Shack were the people who were on the Boost Mobile $50 unlimited everything plan. And so they would come in, get their $50 Boost Mobile cards, and guess what? Our system automatically puts that on their plan so they don't need a receipt with a code on it. And then they check their phone. They have an automatic text message that says, you just got topped up by Radio Shack. Your plan now expires in 30 days. They leave the store. They don't want that receipt. That's trash. That's garbage. So then I take the receipt that's got the $5 gift card on it. I now have a stack of 10 of them in one day. And so I went around the store. I got myself CD cases. I got phone cases. I got everything. And mind you, this is all on my employee discount. So everything's already 80% off for me. And so I just scanned gift card receipt after gift card receipt after gift card receipt. I think I ended up getting like $250 worth of stuff for like $3.
Oh, you just unlocked a very repressed memory. The freaking whole coupon gift card. Wow. I completely forgot about that.
My final level, my final Bowser battle, my final, my Charizard evolution at the Shack, and I think this is might have what put them out of business, is that year for Christmas. There was we had, it's you probably don't remember because it wasn't a popular item there and it probably never got sold. There was a Canon Rebel T3i DSLR camera that we had locked up in the cage in the back. And
that was probably past my time then.
And so, it might not have been because it was there my whole time too. No one knew about it because no one came into Radio Shack looking for a $500 DSLR camera, right? It was locked up. We didn't have a demo. We just had that one. It was on the highest shelf. No one ever looked at it except for me because I was the YouTuber at the time, right? Making magic videos, whatever.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know about the Canon Rebel series, they have 2 versions of each number. It's either the T3 or the T3i, T4, T4i. It's either the number or the number plus an I. The I is the upgraded model. It's the plus. It's got the flip out screen. It's got the HD video, whereas the number just has like standard definition recording, not too good. It's like the iPhone 15 versus the iPhone 15 Pro Max, right?
Okay.
So for Christmas that year, I'm like, Mom, I want to be serious about making videos. I want this camera, the Canon T3i. We have one at Radio Shack. You could come in and just get it, and I could just take it home, whatever. Like, it'd be cool. It's here. It's in stock. And she's like, oh, we'll see. Christmas comes around. And under the tree for me that year sits a brand new Canon Rebel T3.
Ooh, no eye.
And so I'm opening it up. I'm like, maybe it's a mistake. Maybe they just don't print the eye on the box. Maybe it's just to save money on something's obviously going wrong here. And so I open up the box, and sure enough, no flip out screen. No, none of the stuff that I need to film these HD. I want to be the best YouTuber ever. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, it's fun. It's all right. And so, I take it to school. I use it for a week or two, whatever. And it's all right. It's okay, James. It's okay.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, I just think, man, that T3i. So I thought, what would happen if no one who was ever going to buy the Canon T3i from RadioShack would just, So one day, no one was there, and I had the keys because I was a closer because they trusted me because I worked there for 2 years, and I opened up the cage, and I just swapped out the body, okay? So what is sitting in the box of the Canon T3i at the RadioShack that's no longer there, so it's fine. I'm off the hook, I guess. Is in fact the wrong camera body. And did that make someone's day really, really terrible one day that I don't know about? Maybe. But all I can hope is that no one did in fact buy that camera. And here we are. And so then that was great because I had a Canon T3i that my mom got me for Christmas.
That's a true level 4 story right there.
You got to
swap.
You got to start small. You got to start small, which is borrowing a battery every now and again. And then you got to progressively work your way up to fudging inventory numbers, to stealing customers' gift cards that they didn't even know about, to, just, it's fine. Listen, it's all a joke. I'm joking, of course. I didn't do any of that stuff. It's a joke, dude. So we kind of hinted at it a little bit here already. And I know you and I have talked over the years. We've had arguments. There's been posts. There's been videos. There's been things said. I think there's a period in a time that, we got into a fist fight once, and then we didn't talk for 3 years because you think for some reason that Android devices are better than iPhone, Apple, and iOS. So I guess I figured now would be just the best time to do so because, here we are, and I just feel like it's a good time for you to plead your case. And so I think we'll treat this exactly like, the courtroom setting. James, I'll give you just a minute or two, however long you need, I guess, to let us hear your opening arguments, your elevator pitch, your main reasoning. We don't need a lot of evidence or meaning, but just yet, but maybe just why you think that this open source, sometimes secure, sometimes not, maybe nowadays more, I don't know. Android platform's better, green bubbles, yuck, is better than YouTube or iOS and Apple.
All right, so let's get into the meat and potatoes here. I only got to talk about 3 things, okay? First off,
3 things, go.
Number 1, for Android, whenever you get a new device, you upgrade, you do different things. Are you getting a new device? Oh yeah, you're getting a brand new device. You're getting all these different changes. You're getting all this new technology, all this new stuff. You're spending thousands of dollars at this point. Brand new phone. Let me ask you this: from the iPhone 14 to now, right? Well, we'll back it up one. From the iPhone 12 to now,
okay,
what's changed?
Okay.
What's changed?
Sure.
What are you getting different? You're getting the same You're getting the same thing in the same package with a new shell.
Right.
Every time. Nothing different.
Right. Okay.
All right. That's big point number 1.
Okay.
Number 2.
It's the same design every year, whereas you're claiming the Android phone market gets different designs every year. So I guess I apologize. I'm just gonna have to object.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna pause you right there. Do we need to confirm? Here's the other issue. Here's the other issue that I don't think I need you to pick one company because it's not necessarily. Can we necessarily argue? Because from my point of view, I would say that the Samsung Galaxy S 19 all the way up to now, what are we at? 24 pretty much looks the same. Every year, the Samsung Galaxy Note or Pro or whatever they call it now has a stylus and a square edge body with 3 cameras on the back. So if we're comparing company to company, that argument falls through. And so I think that's where, like,
well, then that also opens the argument. Are we talking manufacturer or are we talking Android as a platform? Because I always had that same argument. Samsung is not Android because everyone's like, oh yeah, I got Android. No, you have Samsung.
Right. Okay. So let's, all right. This is good. Maybe we're the perfect people to bring this debate to full circle and pretty much to a close here. So perfect. I like that you said that. I think it needs to be a debate between software. Because as far as I'm concerned, you can go and get this iPhone 12 Pro Max because, you know, I'm a degenerate and don't upgrade every year because I'm poor and I'm 30 and have a kid to think about. So I'm a few years behind. It's fine. You can pretty much get this same unibody, 3-camera layout, metal, metallic, looks just like it from the Nothing Phone 2. You can go get a Nothing phone right now that looks just like this. So if we're talking about hardware, that whole thing, yes, you could then of course argue that, like, well, you could get a Samsung that looks like this, or you could get a OnePlus that looks like this, or you could get one that folds like this, or you could get one that folds like this from Motorola. I think when it comes to hardware and design, that whole argument, and unfortunately, I think is where we're going to have to nip it in the butt right now, because maybe not next year, maybe the year after that, once Apple inevitably adopts the folding aspect, then it doesn't really, the argument falls through, right? Because if we look at the launch of the iPhone 5, we had the iPhone 5, we had the iPhone 5 SE, which was like a colorful array of plastic devices. We had the iPhone 5S that was metal and aluminum on the back, you know, so like that was a whole range of different looking. The iPhone XR, it was different than the main phones that year. So when it comes to releasing different model types and different, like, you know, different looking devices every year, they do that. Now, every year, do those same model names and upgrades kind of look the same? Sure, but so do Samsung's. The Nothing 1 phone looks just like the Nothing 2. And the Motorola Razr that came out 4 years ago looks pretty much like the one that came out this year, but their hinge and their folding mechanism is a little bit better. So I think, with that being said, it needs to be a software-only debate, yes or yes?
For the first point, yes, but the hardware still kind of leans into my second point. It's kind of. Not to the extent of the phone itself, but as far as things that are on the phone. I think you know where I might be getting at in a second here.
Go. Yeah, go.
So, well, I guess we can come back to the first one. Yeah. So number 2, stifling innovation. All right. Now, this is, I solely say this is an Apple thing. 2 words. Well, 1 word and however you write it. USB-C. Oh yeah, you giggled as soon as I said it. USB-C. Now, how long we had to get government intervention to say, look, quit the shit, throw USB-C on it, stop it.
Okay.
Now we're getting USB-C, but at that, a gimped USB-C, not true 100% USB-C across the board.
Okay. So, you ready for your rebuttal on that one? And you just made you just made 2 points, and I've got rebuttals for both of them. One, I know for a fact, maybe not today, maybe not 2023, but through the span of the lifespan of the Lightning connector, I still got it. You know what I mean? through the span of the Lightning connector and its lifespan. And even though companies like OnePlus, Samsung, whoever else, the big boys, Google, right? Yes, they did have USB-C, but during that time, I'm 101,000% positive you could still go to Amazon or any other prominent cell phone company and go to the top selling phones of those years, 2020, 2019, 2018. And most of the Android phones had micro USB chargers in them. And so we can't give USB-C as a charger fully to the Android ecosystem when they didn't fully adopt it either. And two, when it comes for the second argument of your whole thing, the whole cheap whatever version of USB-C, yeah, when you get the regular iPhone 15, it comes with a USB-C cable that has the equivalent specs of a Lightning port and a Lightning cable. 100% guarantee. I'm not denying that. You need an iPhone 15 Pro to get the faster one. But let's not pretend either like that's not just the whole thing of USB-C that's swept under the rug. Because when you go to Amazon and you just search for USB-C cable, whatever comes up, comes up. And the general public doesn't have the knowledge to know all that USB-C sometimes only charges, sometimes only transfers data, sometimes does both, sometimes does both slowly, sometimes does one or the other, sometimes does one or the other slowly, sometimes does both fastly, sometimes does both quicker than that. And sometimes it depends on what brick you plug it into. Sometimes it depends on what computer you plug it into. So the whole USB-C market and the whole USB-C standard isn't that. There is no standard for USB-C because you have now Apple shipping one cable with speeds. You have Apple shipping another cable with data transfer speeds. You've got Samsung doing one USB-C protocol. You've got Google doing one USB-C protocol. So like, let's not get it twisted.
Well, hold on.
Like,
here.
Can you get the same results from Apple's USB-C cable in this box, the Pro box, the Google box, the Samsung box, and whatever other Anker's USB-C cable, the third-party one you get at the gas station and the third-party one you get from Five Below? They're all different.
If you're talking now, and this goes into a whole nother debate here. So if you're talking the charging speed, if you're talking the power delivery standard, because that is standard. If you're talking the power delivery standard, then yes, it does not matter what device you have because USB-C as a standard has power delivery. So as long as you're meeting that power delivery wattage amount, you will get the specified rating for that amount.
Okay. So then is the difference then data transfer speeds or the ability to transfer data?
Speeds and kind of what you were talking about with different standards, because like Samsung has supercharger and OnePlus has warp charging. Those are the specific standards for their devices. But as a general standard, power delivery is across the board. As long as you get a power delivery 15-watt charger, you're going to get fast charging no matter what you plug it in, as long as they are fulfilling the power delivery standard.
Right. And so I guess my argument for that is how can we blame Apple for having Lightning connectors all these years when the Lightning connector has and is equivalent to the same standards as some USB-C cables now coming in the box of Apple phones. And I'm sure other Android phone manufacturers use that same whatever gig transfer, whatever charging wattage that Apple is using in the regular phones now. So why are we blaming Apple for giving us a Lightning cable and now a USB-C cable when you're not getting the same cable from Google as you are from Samsung?
it was more of a standardized thing. So
Right.
even if you're talking the charging speeds or the data transfer speeds or anything
Right.
like that,
Right.
it was just simply the fact of you have a USB-C cable,
Uh-huh.
it will work.
Right.
Not I need a USB-C cable and this cable. Now I will admit the whole micro USB that was long running on Android.
Right.
But did manufacturers need government intervention to say, "Oh, here's the new standard. We need to switch to that"? Only
So,
Apple was still, no, 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 no. We're not doing anything. Well, you better. You're gonna have to pay. All right, I guess we'll do it, but we're not gonna give you. We're not gonna give you true, true everything. It's just if you buy this, we'll give you that. But if you buy this, we're gonna give you this. But hey, we're meeting a standard. To me,
well,
typical Apple.
but you can't, even that in and of itself is the same thing that Samsung does. If you're saying typical Apple because look at them stealing the consumer's money because they think they're getting one thing instead of the other, well then that's the consumer not doing their research. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but Apple having the lower end USB-C cable in this model's box with the lower end camera and the lower end processor attached to it, the same way that the Samsung Galaxy S23 is the S22 Pro's chips, camera set, whatever, last year's stuff internals, the same way that Samsung gives you the upgraded specs, camera, cable when you get the Plus Pro Note model. So,
well,
what do you mean typical Apple? Like Samsung does the same thing. They have a base consumer model and they have a Pro model, and between the two, there's different specs, there's different RAM, there's different processors, there's different cables, there's different camera lenses. Samsung does it. Google does the same thing. Google has a 6A, an 8A, an 8 Pro, an 8 Plus, and in the box comes different chargers, different cables, different camera lenses. Oh, typical Google, typical Samsung, typical Android company.
Well, if we're talking device lines, no argument there.
Right.
But just to say, oh, we can do it.
Right.
We can give you the same standard across the board because it's literally just adding one extra wire. We can give you the same standard across the board.
Right.
Just to simply say, we're going to limit the type of USB transfer speeds or charging speeds. We're going to limit that simply because you didn't spend an extra $1,000. Makes no sense because you're purposely limiting it. It's not that it's not able to do it. You're purposely doing it.
But do you think that potentially, now this is just an assumption, so you can hit the hammer and do an objection here in our court. Do you think that's probably maybe because the regular standard iPhone 15 model that cable comes with doesn't need those speeds? And so overall, if you're only filming video on that phone or taking photos with it or charging it with the brick that it came with or whatever it is, do you think that maybe Apple did that because if they gave them a more powerful cable, A, the phone wouldn't take advantage of it, and B, maybe the battery life wouldn't last so long. They blow their battery load in like 2 years instead of 4. Like maybe that's why. And the fact that we get an upgraded cable in the Pro Max model phones is because just that. You can't film 4K ProRes video on the new phones without having an external SD card attached to it, right? Because it needs that much data transfer. It needs those protocols to record that type of footage and those types of photos. So that's what you have to do. You have to have that kind of cable with that kind of memory card or that kind of hard drive. But the iPhone 15 doesn't have those capabilities. So they just need a standard, basic, run-of-the-mill USB-C cable, just like I would get if I go to Walmart right now on sale for $99. The Google Pixel 6a is on sale. And you're telling me that cable in that box is no different than the one that I would get if I went and bought the Google Pixel 8 Pro Max right now?
No, because the only thing that would be different is I haven't kept up on Google per se, but the only thing that should be different is the actual wattage itself,
right?
Not the data transfer speed.
Okay. Okay.
So it's a very tough. It's a tough thing because you start getting into the very detailed nitty gritties. It's like you said, half the things that people are like, I don't care about that.
Right.
I want to just plug my
Right.
I want to plug my phone in the computer. Does my picture go over?
Right.
All right, that's all I care about.
Right. So, and then I guess the next where maybe because you'd mentioned the government intervention here, which is probably where the next discussion of topic comes into play. The security, functionality, and usability and societal impact of RCS versus iMessage versus SMS and texting protocols. And so, it's funny because
I hope you heard the big news.
Well, I did. Maybe that's what I'm gonna. Well, two pieces of big news, right? So one is I had already mentioned them previously, but Nothing thought that they were gonna solve all the problems, right? So Nothing phone comes along and they're like, hey, we've partnered with this company that's going to give you iMessage on your Android. And so we kind of all knew how that was going to go because of security and how iMessage works, right? You're not actually using iMessage. You're just logged into Mac Mini that's on a server farm somewhere that anyone could have access to. Now, they tell you that no one will access those computers, but, we've heard that before with, basically the entire crypto industry. Sam and all of the Binance guys and FTX saying, "Well, we're not going to touch your Bitcoin. You can cash out at any time." Okay, cool. Why are you going to jail then? So, but that's besides the point. So that whole thing got shut down, right? From my knowledge, they shut that whole thing down about 2 weeks in because of security protocols and measures and shit like that. Because we can't have people logging in to their Apple IDs on Mac server farms because it just doesn't make sense, right? And so then I guess in the mix of that whole news comes Apple announcing that they are going to start accepting and implementing RCS protocols across iOS starting next year.
Yes. Finally.
So
finally getting with the program.
No, they're not. I mean, here's the issue. The only thing that this solves, the only problem that this is going to make go away is when you take a video on your silly phone and try to text it to me. That's the only problem because right now, SMS protocols require any video that gets sent over whatever that server is has to be like this big. And so when you film on your HD thing, on your HD megapixel 48 super telescopic scope that Samsung puts on all their phones or whatever you have, it has to make it this big. And once it arrives on the iPhone via the text message, it's super small and crispy and no one can see it or read it or look at it. And it's just a blur, right? So that's the only issue that this solves. We're still getting green bubbles. We're like, yeah, okay, we'll get red receipts, but we have that now essentially. Like, so it's just the only thing, like, it's not going to, Apple will still have full control and market share over iMessage.
Well, and that's the thing. RCS was never there to say, oh, we are the new iMessage.
Right.
RCS as a standard and called Universal Profile as a standard is there to replace SMS and MMS. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole purpose of RCS.
Yeah.
Now we get the extra capabilities of read receipts, high definition videos, audio, group messaging, all those extra little features that were so baked in the iMessage. It's like, oh, no one else can do this. You are able to take advantage of those things because it's a newer protocol, a newer standard. But RCS, all it was meant to do was to get rid of that original backbone that we had of SMS and MMS because the technology that we're using now, it's beyond that protocol. We can't use it anymore. It doesn't make sense. That's all it was there to do.
I guess, and so I guess my argument for it is that, like there's no why there's just why is RCS even a standard? Like why hasn't the standard been, and I know I'm kind of going away from the argument now, I'm just kind of asking questions, but why don't you think we've gone towards a data set standard instead? Like why hasn't someone or a corporation, maybe Apple, like why don't they make iMessage the same thing as whatever Facebook's thing is, like WeChat or
like WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. That's what I'm trying to say. WhatsApp. Like why haven't we fully just like, why isn't that it? Because it would seem to me like basically iMessage is just Apple's version of WhatsApp, right? It's just media file sharing. It's the stickers. It's the bubbles.
And you also have
it's the
to
colors.
keep in mind, iMessage is solely a US thing, because if going with what you're saying, WhatsApp was the de facto standard across the world.
Well,
iMessage it was mainly a US thing for a while.
Where was that? Is that? I think you might.
If you went anywhere else, if you said, "Oh, do you have iMessage?" they would look at you like the same way how the whole text message iMessage thing, how we look at each other. That's how people would look at you like, "What are you talking about?" We use WhatsApp.
India, and the Dominican, they all use WhatsApp, right?
Yep.
Right.
So it's
now was that also due to because the iPhone only became affordable halfway through its lifespan. So was that due to the lack of affordability in those countries? Like, were they because I don't think they were using WhatsApp on an iPhone and like looking at you like, oh, I don't have iMessage. I think they were using WhatsApp on an Android device. Like, hey, hit me on WhatsApp. And people who had iPhones were like, hey, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, just get WhatsApp. So that's why we have WhatsApp on our iPhone, so we can communicate with the Android people, right? It's so it. Go ahead.
And see, that's another one of those tough topics, because are you asking, are we trying to pick a de facto platform for messaging,
right?
Or are we trying to pick a de facto standard for messaging? Because RCS is to replace the original standards, SMS, MMS. That's across the board, globally. It doesn't matter where you are around the world. You send an SMS, you're going to receive an SMS. You send an MMS, you're going to receive an MMS. RCS is supposed to be that standard. It's like you send an RCS message, you get that back. Regardless of where you are, what platform you're on. As far as Android phones are concerned, it doesn't matter if you have a Samsung, an HTC, a OnePlus, or whatever. RCS is the standard that you're getting across those devices.
But when you send an RCS to my iPhone, it's Apple converting. It's Apple converting into the language that it understands. I see. I get it.
So remember, and here's a fun point. Remember the whole, I like this. Remember that? Remember when Apple released that? And then Android was like, hey, man, why am I getting like 20 texts from you saying that you like my message? Like, what's up with that? And then Google on the back end
fixed the reactions.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. Google on the back end fixed it. And they kind of did a little, oh, you're going to do that to us? Well, guess what? Now, if we do it to you, you get all those text messages because Apple's not going to fix it.
Right. The whole reactions thing. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Listen, that you might win. You might win on that one. I guess it just. I think here's the issue. I think it is. It's just gotten too out of control. Like it's now to the point we've got people making videos. It's a societal shift. Like people are Like people will claim if you have an iPhone and you get a green bubble, that person who's texting you is obviously like seconds away from homeless, maybe even dead. Like that's what it seems like. Like I've gotten threats. I've been with the same person since the day I met you, essentially. I've been with Megs for like 18 years now. It's kind of insane. Like but literally if every time those crispy 8K MKBHD videos go up and he's like, hey guys, it's me, Marquez. And I've been using the Samsung Galaxy OnePlus Nothing Phone 3 Plus Pro Max now for the last 3 weeks. I'm going to tell you all about it. And it's beautiful, and the OS looks great, and Marquez says it's great, and it's been his daily driver for the last 6 weeks. I need it. If he can run an empire and businesses successfully, then me as a business owner, podcaster, entrepreneur, whatever I'm doing, it shouldn't be from this iPhone 12 Pro Max that's 8 years old. I should have the brand new Samsung Galaxy. But if I do that, it comes at the cost of my fiance leaving. She'll take my son away. I'll probably lose custody. The house is gone. I now have to go rent somewhere in the city for real cheap in some shitty apartment because that's all I can afford. Like I'll lose I'll probably have to file for bankruptcy. My businesses, I'll probably lose those partners. Like the bank will call in all the debt loans. Like I'll probably literally the day I purchase an Android phone again, I might lose it all. But you know what? If that's worth knowing I can send you an RCS protocol image directly to your phone, I might.
Hey, well, think of it this way. You got 1 month. You got to deal with it for one more month, and then it's over. But that was always my argument. Whenever I talk to people like, oh, yeah, get an iPhone. I'm like, why?
But
like for 99% of people.
But I guess it just doesn't. But that just doesn't change anything, though. 1 month and it's over. What's going to change? You'll be able to just text normally. That's my whole thing. That's why I can do that now.
Subscribe. But here's the thing.
I was just texting you a minute ago. I just sent you a text normally.
Yeah,
what am I going to do?
But
what
am
I going to do any different? Like what?
If we do anything else other than the basic standard that's been in place for I don't know how many years, a basic text message, as long as we're doing that, then none of this matters. But once you start utilizing the technologies that we're putting in place, the things that you want to hopefully use out of that $1,000, $2,000 phone, once you're not able to do that, that's when I say there's a problem. Okay. When there's a standard out there that will make that fully capable, but you're purposely not able to do it, to me, it's like, what use is that phone to you? What use is that brand new technology to you? What use is that? Oh yeah, I can record 4K, 8K, 12K. I can do all that on my phone. All right, send it to me. Well, yeah, I can't send it to you. Then what's the point?
So once RCS goes live on iOS next year, Apple will then have that standard adapted. They will then have USB-C. And so then what? So then
exactly.
I think
you're getting there.
Checkmate. I think I just won.
No.
I think you need to go buy. You need to go buy an iPhone in 30 days.
No, actually, other way around. Then what's the point?
Well, there's one thing missing from your Android phone because now there's one thing missing from every Android phone, and it's iMessage.
But what's the point?
What's the point? 99% of the planet uses it.
That's not true.
That's the point.
Now look.
Well, it might not be 99. It might not be 99%, but pretty fucking close.
So let me ask this. And again, I don't know how Apple is going to implement it.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see.
Yeah.
But if the thing is, the only thing you don't have is iMessage, but RCS covers it because it's just a part of the standard. What about iMessage am I missing?
Well, I didn't, that becomes, no, listen, no, it's not fine. That becomes opinionated. Then you're not missing anything. I mean, we could FaceTime. Android has FaceTime right now. So it's not like, there's so So I think if I'm hearing this correctly, and I might be wrong here because I'm wrong all the time, but based on your initial arguments, the iPhone was missing USB-C and RCS protocols. It has everything else Android has as far as hardware, software, security. You can't doubt the camera lenses. You can't doubt the software. Like, it's just, there's not. So now come 2024, all of those gaps are filled. And so now you're telling me that there is nothing that the iPhone is missing that you would require as an Android user. RCS, USB-C, good cameras, and so what Android users want, right? So now the only thing missing from the ecosystem is iMessage on Android. So now I get it. I get it that's Apple. Now that's Apple's fault. That's Apple's fault directly. And Lord knows they're never going to do it. But if Apple can adopt every other feature, what left does Apple have left to rip from Android? Now they have the upper hand because they have iMessage. What does Android have left as far as features, hardware? Please tell me. Like that's, you know what I mean?
You know what? And it's so simple. It's such a basic thing. And it's still not there. And that's why I hate whenever I did have to use my iPhone for certain things. That very, very, very small amount of customization. That very, 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 very small. Now I see the face. Now hear me out.
What?
Okay.
What customization? What do you want to be able to do? Because we got widgets now. I can customize this shit to the cows come home.
That's all.
I got widgets. I can put custom icons on it. I can set a background. I can set a home screen with widgets. I can set a different home screen wallpaper than on the other ones. What? Are we talking about launchers? Are you talking about third-party launchers for Android? Are you talking about skins? Like what? You
want to be able to truly utilize your device, it's basically a mini computer. It's a computer at this point.
Yes.
You're telling me.
Yes, continue, God.
You would rather not be able to fully utilize that computer in any way you would want possible, or be locked down to a very specific way of using that computer.
What and in what way? And now yes. The answer is yes. With this phone, you win. You win all arguments with this exact phone in my hands. But if this was the iPhone 15 Pro Max, like I'll probably have in the next few months, the argument is now gone because of USB-C. Because you can hook this up to an external monitor with a Bluetooth keyboard and trackpad, and you can get a IDX app to write code and build websites for my one business. There's DJ apps. I've got Apple Music. I can do a wedding off my iPhone now. It has a ProRes 4K camera that I can record a movie on. Let's see what else. A video editor right inside of it. It's got a file explorer. All I have to do is plug it in and drag my files over. What part of that whole this is a computer is not the iPhone 15? What does Apple limit to you?
Well, then at that point, is it more of a I'm getting the most bang for my buck, or is it just more of a status symbol? Because I always look at Apple devices more of a status symbol, more so than I'm getting the best bang for my buck.
I understand that, but bro, the price points are the same. The Pro model Samsung phones and the Pro model Google phones are $999, and if you want the storage upgrade, if you want more storage, it's $12.99. It's $11.99, $12.99. They're all the same. The iPhone 12 Pro Max starts at $999. And you can hook up an SSD directly to it for unlimited storage. I've got 6 of them right here. I'll have a 12 terabyte iPhone for $999.
Well, hey, I still got my SD card, all right?
Okay. Okay. Oh, we had to bring that up. Okay.
Yeah. I still got that capability.
Now, here's the thing. Yes, I will admit an SD card. It's nice. It's okay. It's a nice touch. But tell me, how long do you think it's going to take for someone to fill this port with a micro SSD that triples the amount of storage in my iPhone 15 that I don't even see on a daily basis, and it's just like flush with the phone, and it adds no extra weight because storage, that micro SD, literally, this port would fit a micro SD card. So you can't tell me that someone's not out there developing a USB-C little thing for an iPhone. You know what I mean? I get it. That's a third party, and it's a cop out. That one is definitely a cop out. I think out of one category today, my friend, you might have won. But when it comes to everything else, I think.
Well, I mean, that's why I said I'm glad that Apple's finally on board.
Right.
You know, would it make me think twice about an iPhone nowadays? Probably not.
Right.
Especially for my use.
And so what
send text messages, phone calls, pictures. Right. They all do it.
Yeah.
So would I think about it a little bit more when I'm thinking about it? Maybe. But because just like with the Windows Mac argument, you get what you're used to.
And here's the other situation. I'm pretty sure Android within that RCS text messaging apps or whatever, you guys don't have a default video chat thing. You've got what?
It's just Google Duo.
Google Duo. Right.
Yeah, that's
Google Duo.
Default.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Google Duo. Right. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's a third-party app, fam. That doesn't come on if I go buy the Nothing 2 phone or the OnePlus 10 or the OnePlus Fold, is Google Duo going to be on there?
If they're following the standard, then yes, it should have all default Google apps.
Okay.
And as far as I can tell, video calls is interchangeable between devices at this point. Because my mom still had an LG and I bought a Samsung for other reasons, but the video calls would still work.
Okay.
Because that was a carrier backend thing, more so than a phone thing.
Okay. I'm gonna look into that Google Duo, but I still feel like even still, Google Duo isn't as seamless as FaceTime. Like you still have to I don't know.
But then again, are we getting a standard across the board that you can get on any device, including your iPhone, or something that you are only locked into one device? So no matter where you are, who you are, what you have, you can use Google Duo. I can only use FaceTime if I have an iPhone, and it's a specific iPhone that has a specific iOS version.
Well, that argument. Well, the specific iPhone with iOS version is, I mean, you can, I think the latest is supported.
It's the same thing with anything.
But it's I think that argument, the fact that I can get Google Duo on my iPhone and video chat with you the same way, is the same argument as, well, why don't we all just use WhatsApp? So it's, listen, bro, I think to wrap up this part of the discussion, I think we can basically agree that two things. One, I won. And two, that this argument is kind of this case is coming to a close. Is that what because like we said, if Apple's adopting,
it's finally getting there now that Apple basically had to get the knife twisted a little bit, finally we're there. Something that everybody has just been saying, what are you guys doing? We're finally there.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I mean, it's fine. So let's talk about Twitch, man. So you twitch.tv/A2CKilla, A2CKILLA. We'll have links down in the description. Make sure to follow him there. Let's talk about Twitch. Are
Okay.
you, what's your current situation there? Are you full time on Twitch now? Because if it's my understanding, I'm getting multiple go live notifications from you on some days. And like today you were streaming all day, and I mean, if it wasn't for me, you probably would be now. So like, what's the move here? What's your current status? Where are you at? What's going on?
We're getting there. We got a little bit of free time, so we're
Hmm.
getting there. So just more riding on some momentum.
Yeah.
We went from what? I went from 140-ish followers at the beginning of the year,
Uh,
and we are officially at 707
okay.
before the end of the year. So
Right.
trying to hit that 1,000 mark.
Right.
So it's a journey.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
Okay.
And, outside of having the fun of doing it, I understand why people do it full time. It is a very lucrative thing.
Yeah. And so are you verified or partner at all? Whatever those, I don't know what the terms are. You tell
Well,
me. Are you?
I have affiliate right now.
Okay, right. That's right. Affiliate and then
Yeah,
partner on
affiliate,
Twitch,
and the
right?
push is the push. Yeah, we're pushing to get partner now,
Okay.
but that's still a little bit in the works. A couple extra things that need to be done, but getting there.
And so
Getting there.
affiliate are they paying you?
Yes.
Nice. And that's just is that when someone subscribes at $5 a month, or is that just from ad revenue?
Everything.
Okay.
So when you start getting paid from Twitch, it's subscriptions, it's ads. If you decide to go that route, which I mean, it's like a default thing, but unless you're a really, really big streamer, you're not gonna make a lot from ads. Just like if you do, YouTube videos, you gotta get a lot of views to get ad revenue.
Yeah.
Bit donations, direct
Right.
donations. It's a little bit of everything.
And the difference then between just so I get my grounds here, the difference between that and partner is what? Just higher percentages or access to more stuff?
Well, the higher percentages come with their new program Partner Plus, and that's a whole another thing in itself. But just the difference between affiliate and partner is at this point you just have a direct contact with Twitch. The payouts are still the same between affiliate and partner, so that doesn't change, but you just have more opportunities for sponsorships. They're gonna, if somebody sees a partner versus affiliate, they're gonna
Right.
they're more than likely gonna go the partner because more outreach, more people, more views, et cetera, et cetera. So
Right.
it's just more of a status thing. Once you hit that, all the doors open up.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. And so you're almost there? Where are we at now?
So the whole thing with that is just concurrent viewers. So as far as
Right.
stipulations to get partner, I already reached that hour stream, day stream. That's already there.
Got it. Right.
It's the average viewer. So there for partner, it's 75 average viewers.
Okay.
I mean, I've topped out at streams at 50, 60, in those realms.
Close.
I've had to have a couple streams where people brought their communities over. I've had like 200 people sitting in the channel. So like it's getting there.
Yeah.
But it's just the way you have to do it.
Right.
It's very difficult.
Right.
Very difficult.
Right. You need that luck to happen every day, a few days in a row, and then you finally got it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right. And so a few more questions here. So my understanding, what are you streaming now? Have you stopped doing the guitar stuff? Or are you still doing what's your so you're kind of, I noticed, are you more of a variety streamer now? I noticed you have a talk show. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But what's your main bread and butter here? What can we expect on the A2C Killer stream?
Honestly, bread and butter at this point is a lot of the call-in shows, talk shows.
Yeah.
We are getting into a little bit of gaming, but yeah, the rocksmith guitaring, that's at this point it's done. It might be like a every once in a while thing, but kind of tap that market. I built my channel off that. That's where I got my first couple hundred followers. You kind of hit that limit, and then it's just
right.
It's not going to go anywhere else. You got to adapt. You got to go with the times.
Well, so I guess, yeah, I mean, that's such a catch-22 argument. I half agree with that and I half don't, because it's like, you can't, when McDonald's opened, they had 2 customers. Now they have billions, and they didn't get billions by switching from burgers to empanadas. They kept selling burgers over the course of 100 years, and now they have 1 billion customers. And so it's kind of the whole game of social media, right? You're not just going to go viral off of one post. You have to post every single day, multiple times a day. And then over the span of 10 years, then it comes. So, I guess I'm partial to say maybe if you would have done another 2 to 3 years of playing the guitar, you'd have a pretty solid musician rock guitar audience. But, who's to say that, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's also extremely easy and extremely beneficial to sometimes go with the flow. And if variety streaming and calling in and that audience interaction is what's pulling the numbers, well then by all means, and then that's what you need to make it happen. So it's
because I mean, I get what you say, like it's a catch-22, but you also have to think of Twitch in the platform of itself. So when I did stream playing the guitar, I streamed in the music section.
Right.
Now, that section in itself, if you look at the comparison between, and when I do the call-ins, it's called just chatting. Mm-hmm. That section, it compared to music, almost 3 times as big comparatively when you're talking about the category. Right. Also, I'm learning guitar. I'm just doing little things here and there. I'm not like, a guitar god that's out there just, I can just pick it up and do whatever. There's only going to be so many people that reaches. If I was just this amazing artist, then you could easily just sit there, play whatever, play songs, pull in people, things of that nature.
Yeah.
But when you only have so much to work with, it's like, okay, do I keep grinding out at this? Or it's like, okay, do I try one small change to see exponential growth versus that slow grind growth?
True. This is true. I mean, I guess it, I mean, I guess it's like, is it, but then again, do you think people like Ninja see it that way when literally all he can do is play Fortnite because that's all his audience wants him to see him play, right? Once you start with a game, end with a game, and it's like,
now that's the crux of solely gaming on Twitch. Because and that comes into the other thing when I'm doing just chatting,
right?
I'm just chatting.
Okay.
You want to call in,
right?
You could be doing a podcast. I could be playing a game,
right?
Talking to people,
right?
It's wide variety.
Gotcha.
I'm not just saying, oh, I'm going to play Halo today. I'm only going to play Halo.
Got it.
Because when you come to me, are you going to expect a phone call to call in and talk to me? No, you're going to expect Halo.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
So just chatting gives you that wide range of variety that you could do anything. And once you have an audience, it doesn't matter what you do because they came in for one thing. They're there hanging out with you, talking with you. You're building that rapport with them. Hey guys, let's just jump into a game.
Right.
Now you are you are doing a game with that same audience.
You can do game while chatting, so you can be in the just chatting category to reach 90% more people. Interesting, strategic. Okay. Interesting. Now, before we get into your content a little bit more, I have one more question. Do you, so I know, I'm sure we've talked about this before off camera, but any reason not to hop on the train over to Kick to potentially just triple your numbers? I mean, because from all the statistics that I've seen with 700 followers on Twitch, you could easily turn that into like 2,000 with like a week's worth of streams.
It just comes down to familiarity and what people are comfortable with.
Okay.
So yes, if you're just looking for numbers, you're just looking make money, do all this, and just get as much as possible. Yeah, Kick,
right?
No brainer.
Right.
They have a better payout.
Right.
No brainer.
Right.
But you also run the risk of losing your audience Now, I built the majority of my audience on Twitch. If I just said, "Oh yeah, guys, I'm kind of done with this. We're gonna move over to
Right.
Kick," how many of those people are gonna say, "Oh yeah, I'll follow you along," or it's like, okay, well, I'll just find somebody else that does the same thing that you used to do on Twitch."
Or you could have the reverse of that argument in the sense that if they're already following you on Twitch, let's be honest, they didn't make a Twitch account and they're not logging on every day just because of you. There's probably someone out there with 100,000, however many million followers, whatever on Twitch that they're also a fan of and watching. And I would imagine that if that is the case, it's probably not just one, it's probably 5 to 10 people when they go live. Oh shit, look, this guy's live. I'm gonna go watch him. Now, out of those people, how many of them do you think made the move or also stream on Kick or do vice versa, whatever? I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
As far
if the
as
big guys can get the audience there, like, I understand that it comes in smaller percentages for you, but I don't know. Just
as far as the circles that I'm in, and it's a difference between affiliates and partners and just the people I network with.
right.
Out of all of them, only one person does it, and it's solely because of the content that she wants to put out in some capacities. Other than that, none of them do.
Okay.
They are 100% on Twitch.
Okay. Next question. Kai Cenat versus iShowSpeed. Who you got? Go.
I don't know who that is.
You know who either of those are?
Nah.
You don't know who Kai Cenat or iShowSpeed are?
Nah.
Okay,
you have to explain it to me. I don't know who they are.
I'm almost positive they're like the number 2 streamers on Twitch. You know, Kai,
now, see, I follow people within my spaces.
I think Kai's like, he just broke, like, he has the most subscribers. Like, whatever the top number of subscribers is on Twitch, I think it's like 300,000 or something silly. That's him. He's got it.
Okay.
That's the guy. You've never like heard news of like iShowSpeed, like he was wearing like lounging pants and his dick popped out on stream like a few weeks ago. And Kai Cenat said he was doing a PS5 giveaway in New York City Times Square a few months ago and got arrested because literally hundreds of thousands of people showed up and caused a mob scene. Like, you didn't see any of that news? Okay, well, all right, well, fuck me then, I guess. I don't know, I just...
Hey, there's only a handful of people I keep up with on Twitch.
Listen.
It's a lot.
Bro, I don't watch... No. Here's the issue. I don't watch their streams. I don't know where... I don't know what they do on a daily... But they're the top Twitch streamers. So on Twitter, Facebook, whatever, where I get my news, they're like, top Twitch streamer got arrested for this. And Kai Cenat did that. And
I don't
like
know.
Quavo was just on Kai Cenat's stream and Drake and whoever, like, you know what I mean? So like they're just culturally relevant. And so I guess I just assume that
hey man, I go to the beat of my own drum, man.
How about do you know who Aiden Ross is?
I've heard of Aiden Ross.
You've heard of Aiden Ross. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure he's like part owner of Kick or something, or he's just in bed with them in some way. But okay, so but he's on Kick most of the time. I don't know if he's actually on Twitch anymore. But very interesting. Okay, well, hey man, good for you. Okay, well then, you know what? Why don't you educate me? Why don't you tell me who I should be watching on Twitch? It's just clearly it shouldn't be iShowSpeed and Kai Cenat because
depends on what you're into, man. Depends on what you're into. Depends on what gives you your laughs and what you enjoy and the type of communities you like to be a part of.
Okay.
That's how I describe when someone asks me, "Hey, who should I watch?"
Yeah.
What kind of community do you want to be a part of? Do you want to be a part of communities that, everybody can joke with each other? Everybody has a little inside thing with each other. There's lore about it. That's what I say. Like, who do you want to watch?
Yeah.
When it comes down.
Well, I'll tell you what made me laugh. This video right here. Let's pull some clips from your streams. I've got this video here. And if you hear it, it's fine. But if not, it's okay because I'm not connected. It's the phone, whatever. This is this one's titled "Gag Reflex."
All right.
All right. And for the sensitive viewers, that's all it is. It's just literally you. Can you give us more context behind this clip? What were you spraying into your mouth?
So I was sick at the time or coming off a cold.
Okay.
And it was just some sore throat spray.
Okay.
So I was just like, guys, like it's hard for me to keep talking. Like I got to take a little bit of spray. And they're just like, oh, and I was just like, oh yeah. Every time I do it, like I miss and my tongue gets numb.
Yeah.
And they're just like, they're just like, oh, well, you got to aim it better. I'm just like, all right, but yeah, my gag reflex is terrible. And I must have hit like dead center, right on the uvula, like dead center. Boom! As soon as it hits me, I almost start puking. Like I must have hit it.
That's
dead
so funny.
Center.
That's so funny.
But hey, it makes a funny clip.
What you should do next time is what we'll do next time is one of these times I'll come over and I'll be on stream with you, right? And so I'll bring a line. I've always wanted to do like a Hot Ones challenge kind of thing. So maybe I'll do that, but with each chicken wing, we have to also do a mouth spray. We'll take it up one notch. Like we'll do a chicken wing that gets increasingly hot. And then we'll also do maybe like a mouth spray that like maybe one will be sweet, maybe one will be a medicine like that. And maybe one will be like a sweet and sour candy. You know, it'll be a thing. It'll be fun. All right, we'll do that. This clip, this one, this one, this one again. This one's from your talk show here. You love now. Okay, so break this down. When you have people call in, right? I can tell by this that you've just got them calling into a Google Voice number, right? And so. You don't, because of that, you're not screening these at all, right?
Yeah, that's the only the back draw to it. I can't screen a lot of what comes in, so it gets a little raunchy sometimes.
Right. So how do you just quickly just like end the call then, or what's your like escape panic button?
That's basically the way I do it. I have my two screens set up. As soon as I answer and I do my little spiel of whichever show I'm doing, I immediately bring the mouse right over the end call button, and my fingers just sitting on the click, just ready if I need to. That's the most I can do.
Yeah, I suppose so.
That's the nature of the call-ins. You just never know. I
suppose. Here's let me get my volume right. There we go. This one's fun. I like this one because I generally laughed at it.
Hello, caller. Thank you for calling the Williams Show. I'm Dr. Gilligan P. Williams. What can I do for you?
What do you get when you gobble down cock? Look like a chubby version of The Rock.
You know? It's great.
Oh, my.
That's great. Do you know? So, okay. First of all, let's break that down. What do you say your name is?
Hello, caller. Thank you for calling the Williams Show. I'm Dr. Gilligan P. Williams.
Gilligan P. Williams. Where is that? Yes. Where did you get that from?
I have no clue.
Did you just make it up? Okay.
Just made it up. I was just like, okay, I need a talk show. Dr. Phil, Dr. something, Dr. Williams. All right, let me just pick some letters.
Right.
Dr. Gilligan P. Williams.
Gilligan P. Williams. There we go. Okay. And do you know who that person is at all?
Yes, that was another streamer. From the voice, I know who it is, and he's one of my mods on there, but he gets in on the fun.
Gotcha. Right. Okay. Perfect. Okay. It would have been so much better if he was just a random person, but that's all right. No, it's
But I still never expected. Even though I do know, I never expect it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Now
I never know what's gonna come.
And for the last clip, I don't have it linked, so you won't hear it. I'll put it in post. Do you have the full Ninja Turtles movie dance memorized, or is it memorized now? Did you have it memorized when you did it, or what's the story there?
No. So I forget. It was an inside joke. When I was streaming, they were just like, "Oh, you look like a Ninja Turtle," and I was like, "What?" And then they like photoshopped me with like Donatello's mask, and I was just like, where did you guys even find this? And then so what I like to do with my streams, like when they do like little inside jokes like that,
Yeah.
I try to run with it.
Yeah.
So when they're just like, oh, Ninja Turtle this, Ninja Turtle that, I'm just like, all right, guys. And then I just play the Go Ninja Go, freaking Vanilla Ice, them dance, and I'm just like doing the whole choreograph and just trying to play along with it, and everybody's loving it.
Love it. No, that I think makes all the sense in the world. It's good. Was the other one last question? What were you for Halloween this year? Were you Thanos? Is that what
Oh no. So you're probably talking about the purple guy stream.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is a it spawned as a parody. I don't know if you know the streamer Toad PhD.
Oh, is
Paints
he?
his face green.
Is he? Yeah, he dresses up in the Toad. He's got the green screen, and his whole bit is just people calling in asking for advice.
Yep,
and
online advice show.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It was a spin on that. I don't have a name for him, but I was just purple guy.
You were the purple guy.
It was a spin on that. Yeah.
Okay. What you should have got like a full just purple, like either an inflatable suit or like a Grimace costume. That would have been fun.
Man.
What's the best?
So many ideas.
Do you have a shockingly, like surprisingly, like best question, or like has anyone actually called in and had a decent question or a serious question, and then like has it actually worked, or has it just been guys farting into the microphone?
You can probably think of the most degen calls you can probably think on the internet. That is usually what it is. 99% of the time.
Yeah.
Everybody's just having fun, goofing off. It's not too often you get a serious question now. I can't even think of a really serious. I mean, very small, serious, quote unquote questions.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just like, I don't know. Hey man, what are you doing? Oh, what do you mean? I'm just here to give you help on stuff. Oh, well, my foot hurts. Well, you should probably get that checked out. All right. Well, and then they just like kick something again. Like, I don't know. It's just like,
okay.
It's a wide variety, but the fun part about it is you just never know what's going to be on the end of that call. That's what makes it fun.
Okay. Interesting. All right. And so, final question, then we'll wrap this up. So I know, without not getting into too many details, I think you and I are in the same boat, when it comes to, offspring in our own, family's situation. So do you foresee said child being, has she been on stream at all with you, or will it? No, you're not letting her anywhere near.
That is one of those things where, and I don't know if it's just the inner IT guy in me, or just because, once it's out there kind of thing. I just try. It's one of those things. I make sure she's not on stream. She's not on anything internet related that I'm doing when I'm doing that kind of stuff.
Right. No, I get that too. I think it's every millennial's parent to like say like, oh, I'm having a kid and I'm not putting them on social media. And then obviously through the years we do anyways, but
those small pictures and stuff like that. But when it gets to that next level,
and that's what, honestly, that's what Meg said too. She's like, as long as it's not like a bunch of strangers. No. And do you think, what is she? I mean, does she show interest at all in any of this stuff? Like, what's she into right now? Is it, or do you like? Because I guess my thinking about it, I was wondering just if as far as my own son and your kid and everything, like, do you think they'll follow in our footsteps? Right, because obviously I'm not. Right, obviously I'm not a Twitch streamer. I did it, for a period of this year, and kind of, it's it's busy with work, and I plan one day maybe to come back. Who knows? We'll see. But
it's an animal. It's an animal when you get into it.
But I don't know like necessarily like if my son will wanna build websites, do podcasts, DJ weddings, and play Super Mario 64 online. So it's interesting because all my parents work at the hospital, and it's like,
Yeah.
I have no interest going anywhere near it,
Yeah.
and so I'm just, and I'm just curious if she showed signs or had any.
Right now, probably not. I mean, she understands technology to a point just because, I mean, I do IT, so she's just around it all the time.
Yep.
But it's one of those things where she just utilizes it as a tool to do things. Like, I mean, she has a tablet now.
Right. Right.
She doesn't access things that we would access or most kids begin to access. It's just like, hey, can I just do some math problems? Or hey, can I draw a picture or something? Like, that's all she does.
Okay. Well,
so
good.
It's like good.
Yeah.
She's not on
YouTube yet. Like not
Kids.
making
YouTube.
videos, but like watching them. Kids,
just watching like little kids shows.
My
and stuff.
son won't do it. The interface with the YouTube Kids app is different than the main app, and he doesn't like it. And so every other day, we're just blocking videos from people who make Thomas the Train addicted to crack cocaine. And so obviously, and it's funny because in that same video, they yell out, "Fuck you, Thomas." And so then my son from the other room will hear, "Fuck you, Thomas." And he's 4, he doesn't know what he's saying, but like, man. It's a
crazy world, man.
It is a crazy world. All right. And then last bit, because when we started this call, I'm sure it's cut out. You've mentioned multiple times, you're in the IT realm. What are you, you don't have to tell us what are you working? What's your bread and butter? Like, are you setting up networks, cloud security, email? Like, what are you, servers? What's your,
it's a little bit of everything. It's just all around general support. I mean, I'm trying to do a little bit personally to get some cloud certs because cloud's just the future.
Yeah.
You can't get around it.
Yeah.
But for now, just your standard bread and butter support. If it has a computer, if you're using a computer, you're using something on it,
right,
I can help you with it pretty much.
Right. How many times a year or a month does your mom call you for printer help? Because today is one. Today I witnessed one today, and based on what you said, I'm pretty sure I heard you say, "No, the printer button's always been there." How many times in the last 3 months has your mother called you about a printer issue?
Well, usually she's pretty good about it. This has only been maybe the second time she's asked me about the printer, but usually when it is something, I'm like, "Hey, did you reboot it?"
Yeah, right.
Reboots it. We're back in business.
Here's where we're at, because it's this time of the year. How terrible are Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner for you? Is it do you are people bringing you their devices to ask you questions? Are you automatically your Uncle Kenny's, tech guy every time?
Luckily, it has slowed down. I don't know if it's just a resurgence or
why?
what, but it's slowed down.
You know why?
I swear if you
probably because of how easy they made it to use one of these. Probably because of how easy it is to use an iPhone.
Has nothing to do.
How many, James?
With the iPhone.
What kind of phone does your mom have?
Android.
What about your dad?
Android.
All right.
Yeah, almost everybody in my family has Android phones besides maybe a couple of aunts and cousins. Couple aunts and maybe 3 cousins. They all have iPhones, but other than that, everybody has Android.
I love it. All right, let's get out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the What Are We Doing podcast. Please give my friend, my guest this week, A2C Killa, all of your undivided attention over at twitch.tv. I will have his direct link down in the description down below. Follow him if you're a Twitch person there. We'll have some of his other social accounts, I'm sure, linked up if he wants us. But if you haven't done already, hit the subscribe button on everyone and anyone's channel. Do you have anywhere else to plug except for the Twitch channel? Anything else?
Same handle. I'm on YouTube. I got my YouTube channel.
Good.
And Instagram.
Boom. A2C Killa on Instagram and YouTube and Twitch.
Yep.
Boom. Yep. We'll have all of that linked
across the board
in the description down below. my man, thank you so much for joining me, even through the technical difficulties of today. We
Absolutely.
will.
It was a pleasure, man. It was a pleasure to do this.
Yeah, next time I'll hop in the car, come over to you, so we don't have any technical difficulties, and we'll plan it out. Obviously, we'll plan it out. I want to do like I'm telling you, a full day, like whatever. I'll go I'll go 6 to 8 hours with you. Okay. And then 2, and if we're doing that, I'll bring I'll bring all this equipment and shit. We'll set it up legit.
Oh, geez.
And then 2, I'll do the full day. We'll break it down. Like we'll do like a talk show for 1 hour. We'll do like a podcast for 1 hour. We'll do call in for 1 hour. We'll play Mario Kart for another hour. We'll do like we'll play one of your games, whatever you play, Fortnite, Call of Duty, Witcher, whatever, because I don't know how to play those, so it'll be fun. It'll be like it'll be a Clueless Gamer kind of thing for an hour. And then, yeah, dude, let's do it. I'm there. I'm down. I want to do it. I want to experience. I want to experience the full day Twitch stream life. And
a day in the life of the streamer.
That's right. That's right. I don't want none of this midday power nap shit. Hey, listen, you can go take a nap. Why don't you go take a nap? We'll have an hour for James to take a nap, and in that hour, I'll see how many stars in Super Mario 64 I can get. Boom. Easy. It'll be great. I love it. Thank you, man, so much for joining me. And I hope you had fun.
Absolutely, man. It was tons of fun, and hopefully we can do it again.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Sometime very, very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace out, everybody. Bye. This is the What Are We Doing podcast.